Hello and happiest of days to each of you folks. Well, I just hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing playoffs day. One of the best you've ever had in your entire life. For you folks all up and down the blocks. Alright, so today I'm doing my 21st Let's Play a Fantasyland. It's a Sandbox mode that we have created for Planet Coaster 2 for you folks. This is and lots of fun stuff here for you, so I'll just zoom out here real fast for you folks, so you can see how everything looks and that sort of a thing too. So basically, this was a fantasy when I was growing up as a kid. Was my favorite genre by far, and that sort of a thing too. I started to horror when I was in college, and my first tycoon game I ever played was Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Loved it lots. Then after I got 2, I played it for like hundreds of hours. After I did all the scenarios there, I created my own scenario to play around with, although the money was turned on, it was hard, right, and that sort of a thing too. It just wasn't me, and that was Fantasyland too. It was subdivided into 12 sub-themes, and that sort of a thing too in the opening area, which you're seeing here being recreated, and that sort of a thing too is all about, all of these fun little things like better kid rides and as all ages, and something that I can theme to fairies and storybooks and that sort of thing. That's the song here, and that sort of a thing too. And then after that, then I will be building over here is the land, the one that I just opened up yesterday. Well, on Tuesday, but when I'm playing. The next was this place over here too. I call Epic. It's heroic fantasy like Lord of the Rings, and that sort of thing too. Over here will be Gothic horror, right? And that sort of thing too. I tried to make this as hard as possible. I always start with minimum amount you can have in Sandbox here in a Planet Coaster 2 of 10,000. And that sort of thing too. But I regularly, after I beat career modes from Park Attack, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, figure to Planet Coaster 1, I did this too. But after Planet Coaster 2, their first major DLC, with some themes rather than some rides, was for $12. It was called Sorcery pack, and it was a fantasy thing. $1. It'd be fun for me to do this with y'all. And that sort of thing too. So that's basically where this comes from, and that sort of a thing too. So what I did on the first episode, as I built this teacups here called Spinnerella, this merry-go-round here too, and that was it. Now that's not stuff that typically gets a lot of money, and that sort of a thing too. So I thought it would be really nice to sort of push myself with only 10,000, and that was all I could build in a couple of power structures. Like bathrooms and stuff like that too. And so we just ran it for a little bit, brought up that but we weren't making any money. We were just breaking even, and that sort of thing too. And then I took out some loans for the Chair Coaster also came with this right here, the chair swing over there to sort of get that money and get us to a more prestigious place. But then unfortunately, that didn't work out. Because of the money was actually coming in, and that sort of a thing. To Abu Dhabi for this flying theater that I renamed ever after AD&D, and then this Ferris wheel. I'm sorry, the big wheel. That's what it's called in the game, sorry. And that sort of thing too. Still weren't bringing in money, even though those sorts of things too. And then after that was done, I then added this star wheel too, with some another loan. I don't think that one was loan actually, but then I had some money left over. I figured we definitely put my map on a major play. So I built this wooden roller coaster here. It's called Sorcery. It comes with the game as this, all the other ones too. I do have something called Huntington, which is a neurological condition that hurts me physically as well as sometimes, and my mind and such too. So you may see me do some stuff like that too. I'll misclick things all up and down the block, so I just not that great at ride building and that sort of a thing too. So I built this. It was called Splinter. I renamed it Line Splinter, which is this makes me some decent money. Then we were able to bring in the Sunflare over here, which everyone told me line was one of the best early games, which I really enjoyed to say. And then these bumper cars over here too, very nice. And then I thought, and then we're starting to make some money. And I was at like 13,000, and then this spinning mouse coaster over here. I thought it would be sort of the end. So I posted on the map in a major way. I took like 8,500 or so to get to there to get enough money to build it, and that sort of thing too. You can see great numbers, very tested, but just didn't make much money. I definitely put my bark behind the map fiscally, and that sort of thing too. I don't know. So I spent the next day just building 3 flat rides that definitely put my map back along the map in a major way. The central tilt-a-whirl, the spinner, and then I'm sorry, it's over here. The spinner and that tiny I-2 made me tons of money. All of it, great cash and that sort of thing too. And then I had like 19,000. And then I was like, wow, I started making this money and that sort of thing too. And then I just spent like that cash finishing out this and that sort of a thing too. This storybook fairy tale area, as well as this too. All built from that sort of a thing too. And by really sort of spending some time with all this theming and making all that stuff look as good as possible, I really shot up my number here. I had like 2,000 people in it, just started making some serious cash, right? And that sort of a thing. You can see some of these story fairy tale style things, and that sort of a thing too. Don't worry, folks. And then I opened up Atlantis with the lava flow, which is fine. And then the section 2. After that, we then spent a day building of the pool, and then a day with the first of 2 days that were dedicated to water slides, and that sort of thing too. And so I built this one on the first day, as well as these 2 racing slides. And then on the second day, I built the Titan strap, and then a couple of these other slides too. On the third day, I built these to finish this out. And then after that was done, I then also built a flat ride over here too. And then I built flat rides the next day, as well as this giant. This was the next day, which is at Atlantis, which is themed around the Runes Diver. And then also this great roller coaster, the most expensive water coaster. And it is here Reef Break, and that sort of a thing too. And it's making me all sorts of cash. Now, as a reminder, my rides need to be something that makes sense for that era, right? And that sort of a thing. Reef Break does in Atlantis, but right, obviously would not make sense in like some other places, right? Sort of thing. Also, you can see. So just because it would be an all ages family friendly ride doesn't mean it would be in this storybook style. Also, this area here and over here. And that sort of thing too are being kept open for transport. It's just as heads up. What that happens. And then after that, anyway, so then I opened up another flat ride here, the Golden Octopus. It's a forge, and I renamed it to. I used the gold style, from Atlantis, and then also a couple of river rapids here. And then a water coaster there. Then after finishing the flat ride there, I was kind of done. And so I said goodbye to that, and I finished it. And then the last time I played on Tuesday, I opened up this Epic Fantasy Section 2. And this section over here actually has some fun stuff, as you can take a look right here. And that sort of other thing too. And so this is all about sort of the high fantasy side of things, and that sort of stuff. So I built it here on. It's technically here in the junior side of things. So this is actually not only a theme that would make sense, but it's actually a junior coaster that we opened it up too. It's called Dragon Trip in the game, and it comes with the game too, right? All up and down the blocks. So it's great stuff. Love it lots. And then you can see here, and it's called a Zephyr Children's Coaster. So you can see here, Zephyr Make Junior Coaster, which that actually flavor-wise would make sense too. And it's just because everything mashed up here. So I placed it down there too, and then I also placed while I was here. A dragon here to be a little bit of a theme, as you can see. I also did a couple. I also started to choose my types over here, as well as like my lamps, right, and benches and bins that I was going to be using, as well as my decor and that sort of a thing too, sort of separate this stuff out. And then I also built a couple of these shops. While you were here too, one of those was the photo here built for you folks. And then I also built this gift shop because we have lots of people wanting gifts and that sort of thing. And that's still a huge need for you folks. And so we're definitely going to need to take care of that today. Sort of a thing too. You can see my souvenir gifts is huge. You gotta build lots of stuff. So anyway, so you can check all that too. But then while I was building this up on Tuesday night, you can see all my additions that I made and that sort of a thing too. The first was to add some more dragon decor here and here, which I thought would be nice. The second was to build this slushy for your folks. Now this, as well as all of these over here, or all those nice ones, they're all built by some online folks and that sort of a thing too, because the game doesn't come. It does have fairy tale themed stuff, but you have to assemble it yourself. In does assemble, right? And that sort of a thing too. This one was also done by Todd's 84, and that sort of a thing too. And I named it Sprite Slushies. For your folks, I think it's fun. That sort of thing too. And you can also see over here the name here for as Dragon's Gifts, for my gift, and that's a dragon ship. And that's sort of the other thing too, right? I think it's good stuff. And so yeah, and also, as you can see, I'd started working on this, but I ran out of time on all of these torches, well, not lights, and that sort of thing too, as well as all those benches and that sort of thing too, and bins all up and down the block too, so everybody should. You can even see them in there too, right? And that sort of thing too, so that's good too. For your folks, now because everybody, I also built a restaurant, and going inside of things too. So you can build as a place for food. Here, I'll show you. In the facility section, you can build places for people in the stalls here for them to eat. And then, but they're just like walk the booths and drink it. All up and down the block for it, right? But unfortunately, they're not set down right areas. So like I said, down more classic restaurant, right? And this one is. So also as a reminder, these with the circles on came from Walmart, like stuff. As you can see here, there is a restaurant here for you folks that I got on. This one right here. This is virtual. And then there's an aquatic restaurant too. So I did add that aquatic restaurant right here to my area last night, so we would have more of a sit-down area and that sort of a thing. I'll show you real fast. It's right here. You can check it out. You can see those tables and such here. And it's named Poseidon's Potables, right? Yeah, Poseidon's Potables are great stuff. And that sort of a thing too. So, but I did do that just ahead to give them a place to sit down over here in this section of the park too. And that's sort of a thing too for you folks. So one thing though that I thought I might want to do while you guys were actually here is actually I'm going to have a quick sip of Diet Dr. Pepper after all that talking. And I definitely like my Diet Dr. Pepper. I call it DDP for sure. So anyway, you saw all those needs for some shopping and that sort of and souvenirs and that sort of thing too. Now you did see we added that shop over there, but we saw that's big. I do have some space right here that I was thinking, oh, I'm just put it right here. I know that I finished it's actually this right. It's right here, and that sort of a thing too. I was thinking about just tossing it right here. So let's take a look. Here, let me show you the issues. What we can do about give these folks the ability to buy all of the souvenirs and overpriced stuff. So here in the facility side of the things are souvenir shops. And that sort of a thing too. So you can see the adjustment memento is already over there. Balloons. We got hats, the photo kiosk, and even the splashing board by the pool. We've got all those places, a variety of number of places for you folks. But unfortunately, it's just not something that Sorcery brings in all that cash or spend. It keeps it. So here is a modular souvenir shop. Sort of thing too. So you can see a lot. What else we can just build, but not in like a piece, right? So here are the ones that are out there for folks. Now here we do have a Planet Coaster small one that you can't hear. I'll show you what it looks like. It's not the biggest one in the world for you folks, but you can see it there. But that's a Planet Coaster. Hey, this one is stored. The next one over here is a large one that will probably be what I want to do for you folks. And then again, it's a Planet Coaster for your folks. I could put it over here like that too, if I wanted to really sort of push that thing. And that sort of thing too. Let me take a look here. I'm not going to do this one. Sure, cheap the idea. I have there we go. Sort of thing too. Basically, here's what these shops have in them for. Let me go to create custom. Back over to here, into the shop, and watch our section. And none of these are sort of a fantasy theme like we want. They're just generic themes, right? That sort of a thing too. But here, modular shops, which you would have over here. You would have that. Those are the shops. You would have over here postcards, balloons. On our shelves, and then islands, and that sort of thing too. You have lots of these different display things, and then you could have lots of umbrellas, standing units, right, these are things all in that part. So shirts, I think you got down here some stuff out there like toys for kids, and that sort of stuff too, right? And that's sort of so I thought it might be nice for me to see if I could find one of those souvenir shops for you folks. That's more of a blueprint for that style, and more themed in that sort of thing, which is that's great. See what I've done. This will be real for you folks. See what I can come across. Yep, type correct. Yeah, I went on one typing anything. Souvenir tops. And that's sort of the thing too. I just see if I can come across something that does feel a little more fairy tale storybook. I have grabbed a few things by Mimi Case as a reminder on the fairy tale side. That's not bad. Souvenir shop too over here. Western would be good for the weird west section that we would be having coming out of my bedroom. There's an aquarium. That might be good for the Atlanta section too. If I want to do one of those later on. It might be on the other side of it. The shot and coaster. Yeah, that's going to be not what I'm looking for. Definitely. Alright. So, yeah. So, that actually might not be the worst idea for the fantasy side of things, too. If I want to add that. But let's see what happens with the fairy side of things first. Sorcery's pack. Moderation. Not the one. That's not bad either. Sorcery modular, souvenirs, and the souvenir shop. And that's the thing too. So let me just see. There's one that just simply says souvenir with and fairy tale. So we actually do have the fairy tale themes here too. See, there's something that jumps out with me too. We'll just do this meme case here on the front side of things, see what that looks like. Yeah, that's not bad. Section, how big is it? Does it say? Nope, we definitely know what side we're going to be coming on. Let's subscribe, like, chew, and that. Memes. Great stuff, and then we'll see what else we have here, too. Virtual Cottage. Is that one of those two? Let me see. This is by Bethis. Bethis and Mimi. The struggle. That's not what I want. That's CL Tags. Sorry about that. We wanted to I think the first one would be a little better than that one. And it doesn't say is a cottage purely for show. Does it come on the material? And it's not. This one is right. Modular. Wait. Jump. Here. Just especially virtual entrance. Let's take a look at some of this stuff now that we've got here for you folks. We're going to head over here to the blueprints and see if that meme case thing works. Alright, folks, for the final. That's going to be here on the blueprints. So the things here in the shops, souvenir shop. Is that one? Yeah, that's about 5,000. I got plenty of money for that. Let's see how big it is. Okay. It's definitely, we can fit it into about 4 by size. That sort of thing too. And before I place this, I'm going to save it real fast in case I need to just do some fixing with the folks. And that's sort of the thing to know. We're going to be placing the meter. Now it's trying. Here, see that one. For you folks, get taken care of. This is in the facilities side of things, and it's here. Also make sure it's on the right direction, not lined up weirdly. It's actually facing the other side. You can see it here. So, but I'm not sure if that actually will be an issue or not. Let's just take a quick look and see what that does. That's good. interested. Not bad. Let's see what we got here for the place that I don't know. It's not bad, right? There we go. Open it up here. Now we're opening this up too. And, I'm trying to find what would be a good name for this. How about the officer? This is an actual proper store rather than the traditional stuff. How about all soup sprites? Sprite. Souvenir and chocolate sauce, right? Good. That's fine. Alright. That's fine too. Let's do it. Hopefully we'll be bringing in people to this place. And then also I wanted to show you a log here too, just in case you're interested with this restaurant. That I also grabbed from online too. So this is a fairy tale restaurant, right? It's not named it for fairy. And that's a little thing too. You can see lots of here, folks over there too. Just getting up there and shop. Alright, folks. Alright, that's good. Well, what's that? It is placed over here by the entrance. Meeting King. We'll head over here to just check out some other stuff. So now what? I could be building. So what's the next ride? That should sort of really so small. So we were talking the last time, if you'll recall, about something called a Sirius. 30 folks. And our coaster right here. But yeah, so we were talking about doing so. You can definitely do something that jumps out for me as this epic high thing. This is action too, right? So let's check. This is just a quick little check-in to see what we have for you folks. Or we can even do a flat ride, right? And that sort of thing too. And so here, let me just do a little check-in with you folks. So we could definitely probably do some flat and that sort of thing too. I'm sure we could probably find something out there. Well, Blue's pretty good too. Since everybody says it makes tons of money, and that sort of thing too. We can also just see what we can make about it. We can also add like dragon themes or elf themes or dwarf themes, and that sort of thing just to this stuff too. It doesn't have to be something that comes with the blueprints, right? And I don't think any of them did anything for you folks. Right, so you just gotta build them yourself, and that sort of stuff too. We can definitely check them out, see what I got here for you folks. Okay, as you can see, I got about 47 flat rides, and you can see here if it's been built. Up there in the section says already in the park too. Swing coming, awesome. Kickflip and that sort of thing too. Oh, it's for our folks. But we were talking about another coaster. For our folks, if you recall, the check marks are ones that I built previously and then just see. Sometimes those are actually ones that are from the career mode that I played, that they came with it, but they just weren't said, so I just wanted to. So basically what we're looking for is anything that jumps out to me. We were talking, if I recall correctly, about something called the Sirius ride. It's a wooden picture. It's okay in terms of all that hell. It's probably not going to be bringing huge amounts of mics. It's like the same price as the mouse spinning mouse ball is really good. there's probably would be some very easy for me to swap the themes out and that sort of thing too. But yeah, so let me just do it. So, just checking. I think we also have something called Wonder. If I recall correctly, it's pretty good too, and it's a florals that we were looking at earlier, and again earlier, like much earlier, like weeks ago. It's pretty cheap. And I was talking about how I could swap Winder over to Mind Your Matters if I built in the Fairy Tale place too. And we could probably just swap that over because you know how fairies are all about you gotta obey the rules, right? That sort of thing too. Or also punished, right? That sort of thing too. So I'm having another stupid DDP just as a heads up. Gotta keep hydrated. Let's just swap in and swap for our folks. So I also have a Viking section, mythic section, and that sort of stuff coming down, as well as an Egyptian section with stuff like Weird West, modern, and that sort of thing too. So we could definitely find places for lots of those. Is Rampant going to be here at the front? What is it doing? That's a very, very pricey ride, but it might be worth. It's got some great numbers. It's an ultra spin coaster. I'm just trying out the other spins. So they're worth. Those are ones that we were talking about putting here in the Fairy Tale section. Let's see what those. Rampant, side spin, which was an M&M. I don't know what that one is. Spinster or sticker. Spinning coaster. Spinning. Where's that? So are there a couple of spinning? That's a big ride spinning coaster. This one over here is a Murphy ride spinning coaster. Folks, that's not bad. And that sort of a thing too. You know, maybe I could definitely right. We were talking about that, and you know, I do have actually some space to put some of those things if I need to. Right, that sort of thing too. Well, hopefully this space right here might be for a bit here. Hey, would those fit here? Maybe that would be the worst movie in the world, but that's fiction. I know, I said I was fiction. We're saying what is it? Rampant is a lot of money. Well, it's a little bit. Let me see how big it is. Wow, it's just. It's hard to build at night time. So, would I be able to fit it here? This is a section. Definitely fit it there. It definitely fits there. But would it, you know, is that enough space or that? No, it's going to be going into that. And that's sort of the thing to it here. You know, that'd be a flavor from what I'm not bringing money. I wish it was daytime. Hold on, can I change the daytime before I place that? So I'll know what it looks like before I place that, so they're not going to be running into each other. Camera, weather seasons. very, very bright side about that. Alright, but here we go. No weapons to deal with that stone folks very easily. Alright, let's try it. So let's just check it out and see what I can do with it. That sort of stuff. But yeah, unfortunately they're more like coasters in this game than there are flat rides, which just isn't like a lot of parks. Most parks are more flat ones than coasters. So anyway, so we were in the spinning coaster section, right? Evidently doing for my Gothic horror section. Yeah. So this is Dorian to see. Check it in. See how see what oh. It definitely would fit there. But over here, is that too close? It's still gonna be an elevator. Would that be good? Hold on a second. Let me just check in and see what it looks like over here. To see what see if we got a lot of. We definitely have some interaction over here. With this. I'm thinking right here, over here on the right side, within terms into this section. So let me just check it out and see what that one is here. As you can see. As well as some other stuff on the other stuff too right over here. So over here though, actually, I could probably just flip it over. Yeah, that works. Or just push it back a little bit more. Not in that section right there by the front where it's going through that. And by putting it there, I could actually get have some decent units for like bathrooms and flat rides. So that's the portion of it. Let me just do some quick little spin arounds and make sure that's working. For folks, before I do that, I'm going to save it again. Sorry, I know you hate saving this. In those places, it's such a wonderful thing. And that way, if I just misplace it, you know, just haggle it with a few times I can just which be, oops, I'm sorry, I should have saved it there. In case there's an issue with them, I should have saved it there, sorry about that. Folks. Now, let's just check it in real fast, and let's see what that looks like over here. That's what we're looking at. Getting that fun time going for everybody's happiness in here. Now, one of the issues with being back to that farm is that you probably would have a long way to walk for a kid. But we'll look over here just as a heads up. Yeah, that's not bad in either place, but let's just go ahead and do it for now. Let's see what that looks like. push it back a little to see if it works. I can move that tree easily enough. On the coaster station, so that is locked. Yeah, right there's on the coaster station, so I definitely want to have more interactivity. How about that? Yeah, let's try that. Let's see, that might work. That's not my ideal placement here to get all this maximum number of stuff out. And that's sort of thing too. If that's the place where we gotta put, actually, would that work? Maybe pushing just a tiny little more. That's probably a little too much. Like, let's try and see. Push a little more. Yeah, so it's not right on that line there. Let's try. See if that works. Can't build there, so. Look at what I'm looking for. How about here? Instead, it's a little bit further in. Nope. Is that because I'm too far away over here, probably? Yep. Gotta come closer. I could put lights here and just move it up. Bang. Or just try to work me over here. I'm sure it's all. Let's work with the thing too. Yep. No, it's way too. Try it here. That's going to be way too. I could just try to pull it up and that sort of thing too. No, I just don't think that geometrically that works there for folks. Well, but it probably would work over here. I don't like it over here because it feels like less space. It's probably better there than in around. Let's just try here real fast. Before folks. See, I probably have to bring that in like very, very short. Actually, could I try this up a little bit? Let's try that. No, that's aimed right. So, okay. I'm sure. That did not get there. Sorry about that. I thought that was all the way up there. No, that's why I say because that's a lot of space. I'm gonna ship a pop wall. It's a good one. Try this again. This is in the closer zip. It's working over here first. After that happens, we also want to make sure it's working over here too. Is that in the right direction? It was actually weird. Sorry. See that any other words. Let's just place that and then just do a quick little check around too. There's no. I would like it a little on the closer side because that's probably a little too far away. Let me see if I can move a little bit. It's in place. You can see here it's okay, right? It's not right on the line. There's probably a time a little more space. I think that would definitely increase its excitement level and the people going right by it too. Yeah. There is of this back section here and here. So let's try. It's hard for me to aim at that. Yeah, that's the only way. Here. Actually, I don't know that I actually move that much, but yeah, they definitely need to swing a better place. So let's go ahead. Here we go. Should we get in here? Alright, it's a little bit farther parallel, but I'm sure we can get it easily. We can test for you folks. Let's get this thing for you folks. Here will be this one. We're going to want to customize this now, copy the existing texture for this back here. And we're going to build a couple of these. Connect there. Feels, wow, that's how they have. Now that I see it, that might be a little too sci-fi. You can see all that atoms. That might be a little science fantasy. Yeah, we're just gonna swap it over. Now that I see it on here, the ground is a failure. It can be good reason they have a lot of stages. Sorry about that. For you folks, that's a lot of delaying around with this stuff. Sorry about that. I'm sure you guys are gonna be really not moving up. For you folks, alrighty, so let's just do the regular stuff for you folks. Just drop some things. It doesn't say, but you can definitely see it. Leaf break. Excavator. Just heads up. IG, start on. Cool. I'm going to get you rolling. nice little generic name, Ascent. It's got great numbers. As you can see let's try this and see that. Sorry, I'm going to be a spinning coaster. But, well, let's just try this really fast. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty big. That's very large. That's over the thing too. Let me just check in to see it here. Also, while I'm doing this too, just check in. It's got some clouds and that sort of thing too. I could definitely, like that sort of thing too for you folks. Just to make sure that's not flavor from like the other one was Atomizer, whatever it was, with the atoms, but with the generic name. Yeah, I can definitely classify. I can change that to Jack in the Green Star, something like that. We'll be fine. That's flavor-wise, and that sort of thing too. But how does that look like here? Folks. I want to place it and then have like a lot of things move around. Let's zoom out a little more. It's probably fine there because that's pretty much over my coasters and that sort of thing too. Like that's that's probably fine. Let me just check in here. Try here. Let me zoom a little bit and make sure it's not line's not over top of some other stuff. Probably too close to the entrance. Not a bad coaster though, for themes. That sort of thing. Here. Even here. Here on top. A different one. Let's see if I can turn it. Back a little bit. Yeah, see that works. That's a little too over my stuff. Does that work for the folks? Maybe more like that. Yeah. To be right. Over here. Just put it over here in that section here. Just randomly. I bet go over here if it was needed. I could put it here actually, and then just put like another coaster or something like that. Or I'll just go ahead and that's really sad. I like it though. That one actually made sense. What else? The driller. Looping Sun, already in Part 0. Starline's probably a little sci-fi. For sci-fi fantasy. Sort of things. IG. Alright, so here's what I'm doing. The next 2 minutes, I am either just going to grab one of these and then move on. And then place it, or I'm actually just going to go back to the original plan and place it, and because there are some flavor files here and there on the coaster side of things with the names like that junior coaster is Sky Sailor and that sort of thing too. But now that I'm making money, I feel like that's probably a bigger issue than probably I was hoping it to be. Thing too. And that sort of thing too. So let's just check, a couple of these just super fast. Let's look at the ones I built. Animal. That's a glider. Desert jumping bugs. Probably good for. Dragon charge. That's one I built too. Anything else? Alright, so here's one Elvish Arrow. American Arrow. Ooh, I could definitely. Is that a Sandbox one? I could maybe change it to an Elvish Arrow. That's a thing too. There's no decor for that. When I say it's from her, it's something that was already in the counter shop. I could, but again, American Arrow into Elvish Arrow would make a lot of sense. What's the numbers on that? It's a looping coaster. Yep. Yeah. Probably won't take that much of space on there. It just doesn't have a lot of that theming, and that's sort of just hoping to sort of put me over on that in the major one. For your folks, just super fast is there like the spinster? Or Cirrus. How big is Cirrus? It's not bad. It's not a big one. It actually has it does have clouds though too, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Again, I can definitely see those clouds for there too. For you folks. Right here. It's later on files, right? Alright, so we're going to put this here. Actually, I'm turning, but I could place it there. It's legal. It's not telling me, you just can't place here. Like, all I did is that. For your folks. Yep. Just super fast. Actually. And then I will try to find see if I could also add in here too the American Arrow too. I'll rename it to the Elvish Arrow too. See if I have this template too. Just says it. Because I was going to be doing that today. I don't know how to do it, but this has to go fast for you folks. And then also drop some roads and stuff here too. Sorry, I thought I turned off my alarm. That's my alarm telling me it's time for me to move on with my life. And that's a good thing, too. Here. And then also, on the other flip side, too, this is going to be the cube. Now, which cubes do I like over here for this second cube over here? So that's, I could do a blue swirling path too. But something that just jumps out to me is like the epic, heroic, good versus evil style stuff. And that's it. So let's just do the first. I did Gobblefin? It's Gobblefin there too. So it's Gobblefin? What is it already? I don't know. It's a jazz music. That's my kid style things too. Yeah, this is in the pack. This is in the Q side. Right. Q now is on the Q side. So I just started that many Qs unfortunately. So as you can see. So let's go ahead and go bring up the dot. Is that good? What's over there? Yeah, I'll just grab that. That's fine. Copy existing texture, connect them to the ropes for you folks. And then after that is Google. That's very cool. I think we just have plenty of space for it. Then we're going, that's fair enough. One quick. Actually, this should be like. Okay. Now, see it at night time. So I think it'll be just to make sure. Well, let's put this on the camera. We're going to write it. And yay! For everybody. Now we're going to move some of those trees. But layout, some of those trees. But otherwise, it's fine. So far. Yep. Move it a little bit too. This, open the right up, got numbers are fine. For that type of a little bit cheaper wooding, we'll slide over here to the right side of things. Yeah, you can be double. You can force stuff. Not the worst in the world, right? I think you'll enjoy that much. For you folks. Alright. Let's go right into that road. Sorry about that. So, well, I'm thinking about that, and I should move it over a little bit, just a tiny little bit too. Sorry about that. I could just move that path over. Or that decor over. And that sort of thing too. I don't know that it's going to do it with it. Let me just try to see if I can stop. Just move it over a tiny little bit for that tiny little bit of ride intersection. You can also see it over here in the back of the park too, in case you're in range. It's fine, I'm sure. Yep. Let's see if I can start going. I'm not sure I can. We'll try real fast. While I'm thinking about it. That's. So you can see. It's a decent bunch that's over here. Weird to me that also grabbed all that stuff too. And that ride too is weird. Like, let's just try it again. For him maybe instead? does get the ride and lots of paths, all that stuff over to the sides, things like this. Wow, that didn't work out. I'll try it again. Just a couple more times. If it doesn't work, we'll just not worry about it. I'll just try to do that. Or just place it again later after hours. That's what we'll continue. Maybe I can just try placing it again in a second. Over a little more. Like it just a tiny little snap. Hit. It doesn't have the rod. We add that. There we go. Delete this decorations. It does have that rod still. It's weird. I can't delete it out there, right? Does that work? That's fine. I'll just move it over just a tiny little bit. Nope, it's saying it has to be across. So I'll just have to. This. Alright, folks. Try it again. It's not deleting that at all. I'm sorry. Yes, that's why I say it a few times. It's kind of, sometimes be a little like, yeah, we'll just call it there. But for you folks, well, I just hope you really appreciate that. And that sort of stuff too for us, folks. And there we go. And thanks so much again for taking some time out of your day, right, and letting me know what your thoughts are. I really do appreciate that too. You know, we all have so many things right there happening in our lives, and we have so many different things that we're pulled in different directions too. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazingly awesome day.